Hi everyone, Sandra here and welcome back to my channel. And as you can see from the title, I am doing another dye video. The lighting in this kitchen isn't as good as I was hoping, so let's hope this turns out okay. And I've got a little note. If you've watched a previous video of mine, one of the newer besties on the Kantha Bae Facebook bestie page watched a video of mine where I overdyed one of my Kantha jumpsuits, Harmony jumpsuits, and she liked that and asked if I could do hers. So I did a tutorial, showed you how I did that one already. And then this lady, Terry, she sent a little note with her Harmony, which is so cute. Look at this. That is adorable, isn't it? And she actually purchased a brand new Harmony jumpsuit, so I cannot mess this up. Now the colours that she's asked are for dark and moody colours, and for that I've got the black. And I know that Terry was going to do hers herself, but it can be a bit nerve-wracking. And I said, well, let me do it. I mean, you've got a better chance of it working out if I do it. And she was pretty good with the colours. Now, as you can probably hear, my washing machine is on at the moment, and I am washing the Harmony first just to make sure that anything that was already on there is washed out. So whenever I come to dye a piece, and I only dye, at the moment, I only dye Kantha, okay? I do not dye any of the silks. I haven't tried that yet. Well, I have, but I haven't been successful. But I mean, at the moment, I'm only dyeing the Kantha. And what I do is, with every piece, I wash it first. I wash it in a warm wash in my washing machine with just detergent. You do not want to use any conditioning of any kind on it. You want it to be fresh so it can sort of suck up all the dye that you're going to put in it. So I wash it, and as soon as it's been washed, I'll bring it out and I'll show you. And the Harmony jumpsuit is sort of the reds and the yellows. So I'm assuming that when I put the black over it, and I did get a purple as well, and I got the colour stay fixative. So I'm assuming when I put the black over it, it's going to come out purple and greens. She does want some of the pattern still showing through, but she just wants it a darker, sort of more moodier kind of look. And that's what we're going to aim for today. I've only got the one of the black print. They only had the one in. I've got another one coming from Amazon, but I'm hoping that with the black and the purple and the fact that it already has quite dark colours in it, we'll only need the one, but I don't know. So this is a learning process for me, as well as it is for you guys who also want to dye any of their Kantha pieces. So step one, it's important you wash it first. Like I say, no conditioning, no softener, nothing. You want to wash it in nice warm water, pull out anything that's on there at the moment. And because she wants to keep the pattern as well, or as much of the pattern, we are not lightening this, okay? She doesn't want a solid colour, so there's no need to lighten it. We don't need to use the carbona, we don't need to use any bleach. It's just going to be a straight clean, wash it, and then hopefully get a really nice colour for her. Yeah, I mean, you never really know. Like I've said in the past, unless you are dyeing something that is white, that's the colour you'll get. If you are dyeing over other colours, you never really know. I mean, you can know your colour chart as much as you want, but it depends what underlying colours are underneath all of these pieces, because not all the Kantha pieces are, you know, it isn't saying this is yellow. It could have a green under dye, it could have a pink under dye. So you are mixing colours with previous colours, which is why whenever you do dye something, unless it's white, if you just pick up a black and expect it to be completely black when you dye it, it's not going to be that colour, okay? It's going to mingle with the colours that you already have going on. So just know that if you decide that you want something. The only thing I would say is if you do really, if you're not bothered about a pattern and you really want a specific colour, and I would stick to the darks. If you want a blue, a green, a red or a black, then I would bleach or carbona the garment first, just to take out as much of the colour, and then you'll get a better colour when you dye it. Like I say, I don't need to do it for this particular treatment. I'm still waiting for that Harmony to finish washing, and then I'll come back to y'all, show you what she looks like, and then we'll do the sink treatment. Okay, so y'all, the jumpsuit has just finished washing, and I'm just checking the buttons feel good and secure on it. And this is the colour of the jumpsuit prior to adding some colour. It's actually really nice colours, I have to say. She has some nice patterns on this side. Look at this pattern down here. That's going to come out lovely. And so there's lots of design. There's some black in it already, some green. Now the back has some black in it as well. So you'll get to see what it looks like there. And let's turn it inside out because we know it can be reversed. And I never really took note until the last one I did, how it turns out. So this has some beautiful colours running down it. These are going to take nice. Look at all the designs on this one. This has a lot of pieces, different pieces sewn onto it. This floral here is nice. And that's that one. This is a huge chunk of different colour here. Okay, so now we know what she looks like prior to starting. I hope Terry likes what I do. One of the good things about this, so the cat's found a toy. One of the good things about not taking the colour out though, and I've done this on previous ones, is that if you over dye it with a colour and you decide at a later date, I don't like the colour or I want to change it for something else, you can just give her a quick swirl in a bleach bath, you know, a small cup of bleach, take that colour out and then re-dye her. So that's a good thing about not removing any of the colour as well. Okay, another thing I did was, I've got a nice big piece of Kantha here that I'm going to dye up the same colour and see if I can turn her into a sort of a matching headscarf for her as well. So we'll see. Okay, so you'll know you need your gloves. Always wear gloves when dealing with chemicals. Okay, and I have to, y'all know I suffer with my hands. So wear your gloves, and I do mine in the sink. And this is what helps clean it, okay? Just giving you all a full warning there. I cleaned all my sink out prior, made sure it was all clean and nice. And we've got the salt as well. You will need to add salt to it. I always have this trouble. Okay, so I'm adding the salt. I don't really measure the salt out, I just put a nice amount in and let that do what it's got to do. I need and always wear your pinafore, because if you do not wear a pinafore, well, you're going to get it everywhere. Now what I've noticed about the dye, the Rit dye, is that she has a purple undertone to her, okay? Just to, that makes up the original colour, so that's more of a purple. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to add a bit of the purple to it as well, just to give that a little bit of a darker look as well. Stir it up. And like I say, I don't know whether I'm going to need to do two things of the black. If I do, I'll have to, you know, record this in another session and do it again. So let's just dunk her and see what happened? Obviously, the longer you leave her in the dye, the more she's going to take as well. I think she's going to come out dark purple with dark greens, sort of that kind of tones. Well, I could be wrong. And so far, that's what she's looking. She's looking dark purple with that. So now I'm going to leave her. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave her and get back to you. We're going to leave her for a nice time, just to let all those colours take. I don't know how much pattern Terry still wants in this. It's not going to be too visible, but it'll be visible enough. I'm going to pop this in. May as well get this dyed up as well. If that doesn't work out, it's not a big problem. I just thought it might be nice. And if it doesn't come out sort of the same colour as the jumpsuit, I won't be too upset. The jumpsuit's the most important. And I don't think Terry wants her black. I think when she said moody, she meant sort of the darker kind of tones, you know. At least that's what I think. Because she said she's happy with sort of dark, you know, dark reds, blues, greens. I asked her about the greens because yellow always comes out sort of the dark foresty green, which is nice. Perfect for this weather that we're having. Okay. So I'm going to let that sit for a while and then take her out, see what she looks like. You know, guys, this happened the last time I was doing it. I thought I was recording and it just all switched off on me. So what I've done is I've just added the full bottle of the colour fixative to the jumpsuit. So after I'd soaked the jumpsuit for quite a while, I gave it 2 little washes in the sink just to, you know, drain off any excess. Now I'm using the colour fixative, and then she'll get 2 washes in the washing machine. Another thing to know is that there might be a little bit of colour on when if Terry does wash it in hot water. So I always say, just, you know, excuse me, just wash your stuff in sort of cooler water. It's not going to run a lot, but you know, I always, anything that I've done coloured, I always do, and I try to do cooler washes anyway, you know, for it anyway, just because you want to try and keep that colour in as long as you can. As to what colour she's going to go, well, either Terry's going to like it or she's going to unsubscribe from my channel and I'm going to over the jumpsuit. But so far the colour's looking good. I'm going to leave it for a surprise at the end. I'm going to get this colour fixative to stay on a bit longer and then give her a couple of washes and then show y'all what she looks like at the end, guys, and whether I think Terry will be happy. I'll send her a photograph just in case she says no, hate it. Because you never know, do you? But anyhow, that's in really hot water, so I'm going to let that soak and I'll see you all back, hopefully, with the finished product. Okay, so I've popped the jumpsuit in the washing machine now, and she's going to get 2 really good washes. Make sure that it's, you know, got out any of the extra dye, etc, etc, and then we can see what the final colour is at the end. And whether I need to dye her again, I don't know. I'm going to shift this. This is my newest project, by the way, guys. I'm thinking it's going to be a vest, but who knows. So I thought I would just talk quickly about anybody who is wanting to dye a piece. of their fabric and has never done it before and is really nervous about doing it, because it is quite daunting, especially when you've spent quite a bit of money on an item. The one thing I would say is always read the instructions on the back of whatever dye you get. Y'all know I always use RIT dye, but there are other dyes out there. It's always just been simpler for me to use RIT dye, and I've never dyed successfully silk. Okay, you can get a separate silk dye, but I have tried dyeing silk with the RIT dye because it does say that you can dye it with RIT, and I've never been successful with it, and it doesn't matter what I've done. So I think I would use a dye that is specific just for silk, okay? And I know that you can get that. As far as cottons are concerned, I already touched upon it earlier when I did my sort of start to the video. Unless you are dyeing on white, pure white, you are not going to get the colour that is on that pack, okay? As long as you go into it knowing that. I always think if you're in the point of wanting to dye something, you're not happy with the colour anyway, so any colour is better, so to speak. Always check your colour chart, and RIT dye, you can Google different colours. Say if you have something that's yellow and you want to get a nice brown or a rust colour, you can actually type into the Google search engine which two colours make rust with RIT dye, and it will tell you the exact colours that you can get. So that's a good thing to do. You can do your search engine if you want a teal, you know, do it that way. So if you already have, like what I'm saying is, if you already have something that's yellow and the RIT dye says, well, use a yellow dye and a brown dye, if you've already got yellow in your fabric, then you're only going to need to use the brown, if you see what I'm saying. So look at what colour you already have your fabric to, what colour you potentially want it to, and in the Google search engine type in what colours make that colour, and then you know you can figure it out that way. As far as colour removal is concerned, I've only just discovered the Carbona treatment, and that works really well, but it mainly only lifts the red colours. I found it will lighten the others, but it will definitely take a red colour out of something. And then obviously there's the bleach option. You can use bleach. I would say with any kind of lightening though, I don't know whether the Carbona does, but definitely with bleach, you got to know that the integrity of the material that you're using will start to get compromised if you dunk it in for too long. So only, you know, lighten it up to a certain, don't leave it in for like 3 hours, because you're just going to wear away. And you've got to remember, if you are doing it on Kantha fabric, these fabrics are they've already lived another life as something else, and they are recycled. So if you do want to lighten something, if you want more of the pastel colors, just know that with Kantha Bae products, and I've certainly found, if you take color out, you could well find oil stains and previous things that have gone on with that fabric when it lived its previous life as a different garment. So always know that. You never know what you're going to get when you lighten something. I always think when you darken something, that can cover up a multitude of sins, but when you lighten it, you never know what you're going to get. And I don't mean to frighten you, but you do need to be aware that could potentially happen, because that has happened to me. I don't mind that is part of the fabric. Or if you have some spare Kantha fabric, you can always sort of do a little patch over the top of that and sew a little patch over it. It is part and parcel of the aesthetic of these kind of bohemian clothes anyway. I think that was it. Always wear your gloves. Always. I mean, you should know that anyway. and always wear some kind of pinafore or something whenever you're dealing with any kind of colours or dyes. And do it in a bucket mainly. I do mine in the sink because we've got a good cleaner and it cleans it completely, but do it in a bucket if you are nervous about it. And yeah, I will see y'all back at the end. Hopefully those were some useful tips. I will see y'all back at the end and show you the finished jumpsuit, hopefully. Oh, and I've still got to make that headband. Hopefully if the headband comes out the same kind of colour, I'll just make her like a little headband to go with it. In the meantime, see you in a minute. Hi my lovelies, Sandra here, and I'm filming this when it's quite dark outside and I'm not really sure how it's going to film, but I do want to get this baby packed up and sent off to Terry tomorrow. So I kind of wanted to do the recording tonight of how the jumpsuit turned out, and it is fantastic, or at least I think it is. I'm showing you the inside of it first, and these are the colours the inside it came out. So we have grey, we have a dark forest green, we have like almost like a maroon colour, and y'all know how this was the really sort of bright colour there. Look at the colour that came out. So that's the front. The back of the jumpsuit had lots of different colours in it, and now we have navies. I mean, that is stunning, the back of that. Look at that. The pattern still showing through. The pattern still showed through. Okay, so let's turn her inside out and show you the front. I've got to say, I think this is, I mean, I wish in a way this one was mine now. I'm going to have to do another one of mine soon because I'm just loving these colours that they come out. And this is the front of her, and where she had all the pattern, well, you can see that is stunning. Look at that patterns. So she retained her pattern. Where it was black, she's still got black. She's got the dark green running through. On the back, where we had that big pattern down the back, that's all dyed up, and it definitely came out a grey. So the colours in this one are, I mean, they're not even burgundy. They are a really, really dark maroon colour. The forest green colours, the grey colours, and that's a mood. I mean, that is a mood all on its own, isn't it, guys? But I think she turned out fantastic. I tried to do the headband, it did not turn out well at all, so I'm sorry. I would have liked to have sent that, but I've just been working on it for the past hour and it was awful. I don't do very well with them, but that just would have been, you know, like something special, but I did try. Anyhow, that is how she turned out, and I just wanted to show you guys. She looks fantastic. I think Terry's going to be really, really happy with that. And I love that it had all these patterns running straight down them. Look at that. I mean, I don't even know if that's showing up as good. How all those patterns came out. It looks really pretty. I think she'll be happy with that. I think, well, I hope she will anyway. Yes. And because she got such a highly patterned jumpsuit with all the patterns coming through, it gives it some depth to, you know, it's not a straight solid collar. It's got some depth to it. It just it looks really nice. I'm really pleased with the way it came out. Anyhow, guys, thank you for watching. I'm going to pack this off, send it off to Terry, take a picture, send her a picture of it, and I'll touch all again soon. Bye.